You waited all week, and it's finally here. The Eat, Drink, Explore Weekly Travel Deals Extravaganza.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back to the program, everyone. 9:19 now the time, and always great to have you with us. I'm your host, Randall White, on this Sunday Fun Day morning. And we welcome you to the show. If it's your first time listening, this is our travel segment. We call it the Travel Deals segment. We do focus on deals quite a bit. Sometimes we just focus on a great place to go. Since time is money, you don't want to waste your vacation time, and I feel that's a good deal as well. That's our focus today. You know, for most workers, your next round of vacation time kicks in after the first of the year, making it time to plan out which destinations you'd like to visit in 2014. That sounds weird to say, 2014? Yeah, so we're already there. For the fourth year in a row now, the terrific people up at Lonely Planet, based in the Bay Area, are laying out their top 10 editors' picks for where to go and what to see. And if you've never checked out Lonely Planet guides or their online portal, I highly recommend it. Lonely Planet does a fantastic job. I've been using them for years. Well, the 2014 selection has a little of something for everyone, including whether you're a beachcomber, a nature lover, beer aficionados, as I know many of you are, history buffs, road trippers, dice rollers. Can you guess where that place might be? From every corner of the land. And I'm happy to say two of California's favorites made the list this year. But let's quickly go down the selections here. I got to find it. Okay, here we go. Starting with number 10. So this is a top 10 from Lonely Planet once again. Lanai, Hawaii comes in the number 10 spot. That's the smallest of the main chain of islands, one of the few islands I have not been to. And you can check out the list. We'll have a link online at eatdrinkexplore.com if you want to find out why Lanai is such a hot spot. Sun Valley, Idaho, in at number 9. I've been there. Love it. Las Vegas, Nevada. Who hasn't? I've been there. It's a perennial favorite, as they call it. Number 7, Cumberland Island, Georgia. This is a place I've not heard of, but we'll investigate now. Number 6, Kansas City, Missouri. Good friend of mine just went there and was raving about it, saying I need to go. Number 5, the Jersey Shore. We all know about that, good and bad. Here we go. Number 4, California's Central Coast. That will be the focus of our show today. Number 3, Boston, Massachusetts. I've been there many times and can't wait to go back. Number 2, Yosemite National Park. That will be the focus of our travel segment next week. And then number 1, a little surprising to me, Grand Rapids and Lake Michigan's Gold Coast. Not a bad spot. I don't know. I personally wouldn't pick it as number 1. But still, a very good and very inclusive list, lots of different locations. And the writer for a couple of these go-to spots for Lonely Planet is Sara Benson. She happens to be based on the Central Coast as well. And she joins us on the Eat, Drink, Explore Lifeline right now. Hey, Sara.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you here. And so with the Central Coast being your own backyard, that's a fun thing to write about. And it came in at number 4 on the list.
It is. You know, for a travel writer, sometimes we're off investigating different destinations, and it's always a thrill to write about the place where I chose to live.
and I did as well. In fact, we're even in the same city, I find out later. Now, the Central Coast is pretty comprehensive. How is it defined for this article?
For this article, the way we think about it is everything between San Francisco and Los Angeles. Including Highway 1, Devil's Slide, Pacifica, Santa Cruz, all the way down through Big Sur, through San Luis Obispo, down to Santa Barbara, and curving around to Ventura and Channel Islands National Park.
Oh, yeah. So that's a lot. That's a lot. In fact, people would need more than a week to discover all that. In my head, I typically think of the Central Coast as Santa Cruz to Ventura, and which is about the same.
Yeah, it's about the same. I think that, you have to include that little piece from San Francisco to Santa Cruz and the other piece from Ventura to Los Angeles, because most people who come to visit this region, whether they live in California or they're coming from abroad, they usually start in San Francisco or Los Angeles.
Exactly. And when you think about it, that stretch of coastline, Pacifica, Half Moon Bay, et cetera, it's a destination location. You have to pretty much leave the Bay Area, even though you're still within one of the 9 Bay Area counties, but you get that sense that you're leaving it. So it really does slip into a different mindset, I guess you might say.
I think so. As soon as you go through the new Devil's Slide tunnels and kind of emerge at Pacifica and see the wide open beach and the crashing Pacific, I think you're going to feel like you've already left the city of San Francisco behind.
Let's talk about some of the highlights that you focus on in the piece. Which one is your favorite?
Ooh, that's tough, and I might get in trouble for this. But one of my favorites, I think, is actually right here in San Luis Obispo County, the elephant seal colony up near Hearst Castle.
Oh yeah, I did a video piece on that when I worked at KCOY, and it's so fascinating, isn't it?
I think so, and what's really great about it is it's easier to access than Año Nuevo State Reserve up near Santa Cruz. You know, people come down here during the winter. It's prime time to go, which people don't understand, or they may not know in advance.
Right.
You know, you come down here in winter, you're going to see over 16,000 giant northern elephant seals breeding and mating and calving on the beaches right by Hearst Castle, another major attraction. So I think it's a good 2-for-1 destination.
You know what? That's true. I hadn't thought about that. That is a twofer because you've got beautiful Hearst Castle there, which I imagine you've been to on many occasions when family and friends come to visit. They want to go, and then you go again, right?
Exactly.
But it never gets old. There are a number of different tours you can take, but the gem of it all, which we're showing right now on our video simulcast, which you can get via our YouTube stream at youtube.com/eatdrinkexplore, is the Neptune pool, which, you know, my husband's actually swam in before because we have a friend that works at the castle, and they have an employee day once a year where they can invite friends and everyone gets to take a little dip in the pool.
I have too. My husband actually works right at Hearst Castle for California State Parks. And I think the most amazing part of that swim is getting to see the old movie star dressing rooms. That was a big thrill.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Okay, so you can't talk Central Coast without talking the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
Exactly, and I hear that they have an anniversary coming up, and I never get tired of visiting that destination. I think, you know, in general, what's so great about picking the Central Coast as a place to go in 2014 is that it's really a year-round destination. You know, when it's cold out in winter, you might not be out surfing or at the beach, but you have great indoor attractions like the aquarium. Yeah,
that's so true. You know, California, well, especially in a dry year like right now, the winter is great time to visit if you're listening to this anywhere else in the country. Fall and early winter, you will get great bargains and fantastic weather, especially along the coast. But we are in the wet season. You wouldn't know it this year, but we are in the wet season. And should it be raining, I hadn't thought of that aspect of it, but the Monterey Bay Aquarium is perfect because it is indoors. Okay, so Paso Robles just keeps getting applauded left and right for being one of the best wine regions, up-and-coming wine regions in the nation. It's one of those things like, oh, it became an up-and-coming wine region overnight, 100 years in the making.
Right. You know, and I think what's really interesting is even if you live around here, it's hard to keep up. I mean, there are just so many new places opening all the time. You know, each harvest is different. And then also they have the new distillery in the Paso Robles region, too. And, of course, if you're a beer lover, you can take a tour at the Firestone Walker Brewery, which now has a tap room that you can eat at. You know, it's a very good place to kick back for the weekend and, you know, eat and drink and make merry.
I don't know if you were listening, but just last hour, we featured the distillery, Refined, which is really terrific. I can't wait to go there and taste some of these different options they have. Before we run out of time, Sara, for this one, and Sara will be joining us again next week at this exact same time to talk about Yosemite, my absolute favorite place on the planet. But we should at least touch on Santa Barbara, which is the American Riviera.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I think that now is a great time to be visiting Santa Barbara, not only for the reopening of the historic El Encanto Hotel, but also for the emerging funk zone down near the railroad tracks with bars, art galleries, custom surfboard shops, restaurants.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara is a don't miss.
Yeah, that place, it really has picked up right in that zone. I love doing the wine walking tours. Sara Benson, Lonely Planet writer, the top 10, Central Coast coming in at number 4. Sara, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week, okay?
Thank you. Look forward to it.
All righty, everyone. Stick around.